Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Flicks on the Style Theories. Today we're checking out their style theory on Puss in Boots, the color of evil. Just ignore this and let's hop in.
Big Jack Horner walked around the corner looking so stylish and fly. He struck a pose, the crowd loved his clothes, and he said,
"What a style icon am I? And if you don't like it, well, then you're just dead to me."
"Hello, Internet! Welcome to Style Theory, the channel that's sashaying its way into its villain era. You know, bad guys have the best outfits. Long capes, cool hats, stylish suits. And not only are they wearing some of the best outfits, they're also sporting some of the best colors. You've got the Joker in his iconic purple suit. Then there's the Green Goblin, also in purple. Ursula, purple. Maleficent, or the Evil Queen, both purple.
That's a lot of purple.
I'm starting to notice a pattern here. Yzma from Emperor's New Groove, Claude Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame, Dr. Facilier, Kang the Conqueror, Giant
technically with Dr. Facilier, he was more of a crimson and purple. Yeah, he did have that purple undershirt, but he had that crimson overcoat with it. So, you know, and with Kang, technically, he has green and purple. I mean, yes, they're still purple, but it's not solely purple.
Raisin Man Thanos. Purple, 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 purple. It's almost like the color purple and being evil go hand in hand. Nope, no. You stay out of this. You do not get to taint this channel with your Urple antics. The thing that really brought this into focus for me was Jack Horner from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I mean, this guy is evil with a capital E.
You're not gonna shoot a puppy, are you, Jack?
Yeah, in the face. Why?
Pure, unapologetic villain, and it is great. And the movie makes his villainy perfectly clear. But the other thing that the movie makes perfectly clear is how much of a style icon this guy is.
I'm gonna bust you up, plum thumb, and then I'm gonna wear your clothes.
That was weird.
And the thing that makes him so
I'm sorry, but that is still something. It's like, I'm going to beat you up and then wear your suit. It's like, why did you mention that?
Stylish is apparently his choice of color.
You know that suit Jack Horner wears?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have one of them.
Yeah.
Only mine will be purple. Like twice as purple.
The
Purple.
And you would assume, just based on this one movie, oh, he's wearing purple because his fairy tale
wasn't a fairy tale. It was only a nursery rhyme.
Oh yeah, the lame
Nursery
one.
rhyme?
His nursery rhyme was all about him eating plums, and so he's dressed in purple because he's the plum kid. But that is so far from reality here. Jack Horner is just the latest in a long line of horrible monsters all wearing purple as their fashion fit. But why? Who decided this? And why has it become the visual shorthand for anyone who's more than willing to kill anyone in a 10-mile radius?
Do I wait for the cats to steal the map and then kill them? Or do I just kill everybody all at once?
Throughout the movie, we learn a lot about Jack. He wants to own all the magic in the world for himself. He relishes in owning rare, valuable things. He's the sole inheritor of his family's wealth. Basically, Jack is a rich crime lord. And that right there is our first series of clues. You see, throughout history, many cultures considered purple to be the color of class and nobility. Color association, also referred to as color psychology, is the idea that different emotions and traits can be associated with a specific color. If you've ever said, "I'm feeling blue," or that you're seeing red from being so angry, well then you've used color language. The origins of associating certain colors with certain meanings are a bit blurry when it comes to who said things first, but the root always tends to be the same: feelings. Color and human psychology have always been intrinsically linked. In 1810, poet Johann Wolfgang von Goethe published The Theory of Color.
Okay, no, that is a name we have heard many times before. This guy's had to have some relation with Mozart, because, you know, he was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Man after my own theorist heart, wherein he posed the idea that color was not just what we saw, but also what we felt when we observed those colors, which was pretty radical idea at the time. I mean, this was a world that was just beginning to understand what color really was. According to him, red and magenta paired with beautiful, orange was noble, yellow was good, green was useful, blue was common, and violet was, funny enough, unnecessary. His words, not mine. And while physicists like Isaac Newton considered Goethe's theories to be, well, absolute garbage, this color association idea stuck around and ultimately morphed into what modern day artists and filmmakers use today, including the designers behind Jack's royal purple duds. And you see, this idea of royal purple is where our story truly begins. Turns out that royal purple evolved from a specific shade of purple called Tyrian purple. And it was very, very hard to get your hands on back in history. See, way back, like 1200 BC back, dyeing clothing a bright, vibrant color, it wasn't as easy as it is today. And purple was probably the hardest hardest of all the dyes to get. At that time, most dyes were biological, not artificial, and purple is not a color that occurs.
I mean, that makes sense. Oh my god, really? Okay, I'm moving on.
All that easily in nature. That meant that
Get it
people
off my
had to
screen.
get
Thank
creative.
you.
The Phoenicians, an ancient seaside society located in what's now the border of Lebanon and Syria, developed a way of making bright, long-lasting purple dyes from the mucus of the murex sea snail. Good old snail snot juice.
God.
This dye and color became the famous Tyrian purple that would give rise to royal purple as we know it today. The thing is, it took an estimated 250,000 sea snails to make a single ounce of dye. To give you an idea of how insane that is, it takes almost double that, 2 ounces of liquid, to dye an adult-sized t-shirt. That is a lot of overhead for manufacturing, and it meant that if you wanted to wear purple, well, you had to shell out some major cash to do it. You get it? Shell out, because we're talking about snails. Got 'em! And by I mean the 250,000 mollusca that had to die so I could just walk around looking like a human grape. But man, oh man, did those rich people love wearing themselves some snail slime.
No one else gets any. Is that so much?
Yes!
Agree to disagree.
Purple became a
Agree to
symbol that you
disagree.
were someone of stature in society.
I'm sorry, but I do really like Jack Horner in the movie. He was a funny character. Just truly a laugh riot.
Someone of wealth, someone of nobility. There were even laws called sumptuary laws which dictated who could and could not wear the color. By the time we reached the Roman Empire somewhere in the 4th century BC, the restrictions on purple were so tight that only the Roman emperor could wear the famed Tyrian purple, thereby causing people to start referring to the act of becoming emperor as being, quote, donned in purple. And the children of the emperors were said to be born in the purple. Born in purple, you say? Someone get Haley Bieber on the line. We gotta go.
I was born in the purple. Well, molded by it. I didn't see the rainbow until I was already a man. And by then, it was nothing but blinding. That's a quote of the Bane from one of the Batman movies. So, yeah, I hope you got a laugh out of that.
Great idea for her next Nepo baby shirt. And so purple became associated with high status and royalty, eventually making its way over to England and the royal family. Even to this day, British monarchs wear a long purple robe as part of their coronation ceremony called the Robe of Estate. Queen Elizabeth II, rest in peace, wore one that was over 19 feet or 6 meters long when she was crowned in 1953. Talk about one massive statement piece.
No, seriously, why that long? That thing is just... Never mind. It was a show of power.
So Jack is nobility. It makes sense that he's wearing purple, but not every other purple villain is gonna be rich or royal, right?
Hold on, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Well, it tends to be a much larger number than you would initially expect. Disney is full of evil nobility wearing purple going back to their first movie. The evil queen from Snow White, she's really set the trend. She's evil, she's rich, and she's purple. Cinderella's evil stepmother, Lady Tremaine, was a lady of high society clad in purple. Fast forwarding through history a bit, Claude Frollo and Governor John Ratcliffe from Hunchback of Notre Dame and Pocahontas respectively.
He was in power, he was rich.
Both high up, powerful officials in their respective fields. Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove is the royal advisor. And if you start casting the net even wider, you find more. Thanos is part of the royal family of Titan. Frieza from Dragon Ball Z is the prince of his race. Heck, what about Toy Story? Buzz Lightyear's eternal nemesis is a purple space robot named Zurg. And his official title? Emperor Zurg. Even stuff that you would never consider, like Angelica from the classic Nicktoons Rugrats. She's powerful because she's the oldest one in the playgroup, and she spends all her time exerting her power over the babies and stealing all the cookies and toys for herself, which for toddlers is like the equivalent of hoarding gold. And what color does she wear? A purple dress. Purple is the color of wealth. Money equals power. Power and ambition are the things that villains crave. Therefore, purple is the color of evil villains.
Very
so
roundabout.
It seems like purple didn't start.
It's a lot of algebra up in here.
off as the color of evil. It started as the color of the rich and powerful. Disney's first villain, the evil queen, wore purple not because she was evil, but because she was a queen dressed in the traditionally royal color. And from there, it just kind of stuck. As more stories of underdogs fighting against the powerful of society came out, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, rich and evil, and purple all became mixed together, until eventually you could just extract two of those things, evil and purple, and no one would bat an eye. But while all of these are great pieces to the purple puzzle of evil, I feel like we're only seeing half the picture here. If I show you this color palette, do you suddenly picture a certain someone, a certain evil someone? Is it the Joker, Maleficent, maybe the Green Goblin, the Riddler, Cell, Bette Midler's witch from...
Okay, I was seeing the Riddler Oh, but I couldn't really exactly pinpoint anyone. I mean, I saw green and I saw purple, and I instantly thought Riddler, and only Riddler.
Hocus pocus. All right, maybe the last one is just me, but you get the idea. While purple may be the color of evil, it's not the only evil color. The pairing of purple and green, it opens us up to a whole new world of evildoers, but again, why? Why are these two specifically paired together of all the colors out?
I actually know about that one. The first kind of green that was used was actually highly toxic and poisonous, so it became the color of illness. I actually saw that from a short that MatPat had done.
They're in the world. Well, let's start by just looking at the green. Green, you would think, tends to be the color of life, of nature. It's bright and vibrant like the grass and the trees. And yet, here it is, so often used in the exact opposite way of that. Unnatural magic. Poisonous acid. I mean, just look at the history of Disney. For every purple villain you got, they are casting green magic. Maleficent's green fire. The evil queen's green poison. Ursula's green conjuring. Hercules and the green underworld. Mother Gothel's green lantern. Heck, even Scar's eyes in The Lion King are green. And once again, just like with purple, part of that relates to power and wealth. In the Middle Ages, the color of your clothing indicated both your social rank and your job. Neutrals, like browns and grays, were for peasants, like you'd expect. Red was for the nobility, and green was for merchants and bankers. It was a symbol of status, much like with purple. It's starting off as a symbol of power. But then, in 1775, the color green took its unnatural twist. A Swedish chemist named Carl Wilhelm Scheele invented a vibrant, bright green that became hugely popular. Because it used the chemical arsenite, it was able to be much brighter and more vibrant than the natural dyes that were using minerals and plants at the time. And therefore, it was used in everything from wallpapers to fabrics and toys. There was just one teeny tiny problem. It was toxic. Maybe the name arsenite gave that one away. Suddenly, you had children getting sick in their bright green playrooms. Women were starting to feel ill from their bright green dresses. Some historians actually believe that this may have been the cause of French Emperor Napoleon's death because his bedroom had wallpaper that was soaked in the toxic green pigment. Years later, after discovering how dangerous this stuff was, they designed a replacement. They called it Paris green. It was also highly toxic. Meanwhile, over in the science world, you had Marie Curie discovering radium. And while radium and radiation itself is invisible, lots of its early uses were associated with glowing green. Case in point, the Radium Girls. The US Radium Corporation used to make these glow-in-the-dark green paints that were really popular for glow-in-the-dark watches. Suddenly, you could tell time at night. It was really cool. And the workers all painted highlights and about 250 watch dials every day. At the time, no one thought anything of this, right? What's the big deal? But as we know now, radium is incredibly dangerous. And many of those workers who painted these dials wound up...
Why is it that the last three greens, or the first three greens that humans started to make artificially, were all poisonous and toxic? Like, damn. Really? Damn.
Being diagnosed with various cancers at very young ages. So between toxic pigments and glow-in-the-dark paints, green suddenly wasn't just representative of vibrant life, it was sickness, it was illness, it was death. It was an unnatural magic that could corrupt the body. And so when Technicolor was first debuting into the film world, you had yourself one of the most iconic and influential villains to ever grace a screen.
Hold on, folks, we'll be right back. And we're back.
Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz in 1939, complete with her green skin, which, interestingly enough, is the first time in known history a witch was actually portrayed looking like that. They chose this color because it looked completely non-human, and because it just popped in the Technicolor format. But purple and green have more in common than just their histories on and off screen. They're complementary secondary colors. As I talked about in our previous theory where I debunked TikTok's color analysis filters, the color wheel illustrates the visible color spectrum in a way that helps us better understand how colors relate to each other. Dividing it in half gives us warm and cool color tones. Grouping neighboring colors shows us monochromatic or analogous harmonies, which are color groupings that pair well together. By pairing a color on one side of the wheel with the one on the opposite end, like purple and green, you get yourself a complementary harmony. Two colors that work well together in an image, or in this case, an outfit. So purple and green, just by the nature of the color wheel, work well together. But you know what clashes with these secondary
This is pretty much like, 7th grade art that you're relearning right here.
Colors, primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. The colors that you normally see the heroes wearing. Captain America, Wonder Woman, almost every Disney princess ever. These colors have generally positive associations. Blue is trusting, calming, traditional. Red is passionate, courageous, healthy. Yellow is smart, happy, youthful. These are all things that society typically views as good traits, which seems to be the other big trend that's at play here. Primary colors are the natural ones. They're heroic, they're positive. Secondary colors
Common.
are opposed to that. They're weird, they're unnatural, they go against and clash against the primary colors. Purple and green represent the things that society fears, things that are unusual or weird, and thus are scary.
I really felt quite
True.
distressed at not receiving an invitation.
You're not welcome here.
What an awkward situation.
All of this kind of makes you wonder why orange, as another secondary color, doesn't show up more often in villain designs. Anyway, to me, the coolest part of all
right
of this
about
is
that.
seeing the narratives of media communicated through the use of color. When filmmakers take these inherent biases that we've ingrained inside of our subconscious and use them against us. Take, for instance, The Little Mermaid. Ariel starts the movie in her purple seashell top, a villain color. She starts off the movie as antagonistic. She's a prideful teenager who doesn't listen to society. She doesn't listen to her dad. She wishes to be where the people are, and that leads her to make some very questionable choices. Choices that nearly doom her, her family, her kingdom, and the human that she loves so much. Once she's been
Just
cursed
all of
and
the
thrown out of the waters, she's dressed in whites, pinks, and blues to illustrate her naivete and her quest for love. Purple is also used to link Ariel and Ursula's original goals together, as they both are done out of selfish needs. And then that link is ultimately broken when the trust Ariel puts in Ursula is betrayed. Let's go to another Disney Renaissance movie to see it again. Aladdin.
Classic.
Sure, he's our good guy in the movie, but in reality, he's kind of a jerk. He steals, he cheats, he manipulates everyone around him in his pursuit to go from street rat to rich prince. I mean, the dude literally wishes to become a prince so he can trick Jasmine into marrying him without ever having to tell her the truth. Sure, the movie paints it in a romantic way, but there's no way to spin it that doesn't sound like a huge red flag. Or, I suppose, a purple flag in this case. In The Joker, the costume department made a specific choice not to dress Joaquin Phoenix in his signature purple suit, and instead put him in reds and oranges, warm colors that help to set him apart from the character's normal origins. In their movie, he's not the villain. Don't get me wrong, he does plenty of bad things, but he's not meant to be a villain in the way that the Joker is usually portrayed. And finally, in what may be one of the best
He's not a villain, he's just a misunderstood man trying to... Okay, I haven't seen a movie. I'm sorry, folks. You can be mad at me if you want. I'm sorry.
Cases of the color twist ever, we have the Incredible Hulk with his green skin and purple pants. Truly a physical embodiment of being the outsider. The world and Bruce himself see the Hulk as a monster, and his color design directly reflects that. It visually sets him apart from all of his teammates. He might be a hero, but he's still isolated. He's in secondary colors compared to everyone else around him, which brings us all the way back around to the man that started it all, Big Jack Horner. Sorry, Jack, not as special as you thought. Turns out that your style journey has been paved by the years and years of history, science, and mythology that came before you. Not that you really care anyway. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. And if you like...
Well, folks, that's where we're going to end off today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link will be in the description, and I'll see all you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.